All right, today we're jumping into a roadmap for financial freedom that goes way beyond just budgets and spreadsheets. We're going to explore how a huge shift in your thinking, when you pair it with some real solid strategies, can help you build not just wealth, but a truly wealthy mindset. Let's dive right in.
So let's kick things off with a question you've probably asked yourself a million times. Is getting wealthy all about being lucky or being born with some special talent? It's easy to think that, right? But what if I told you that exact thought, that's the very thing that's actually holding you back?
And that brings us to this really powerful idea from Tracy. No one is better than you or smarter than you. This right here is the belief we've got to start with. Think about it. Self-made millionaires, they weren't born with some special gene. No, they were just ordinary folks who figured out the principles of success and then they applied them.
Okay, so this leads us to the absolute most critical place to start. Before you make a single plan, before you take one step, it all begins right up here, in your head. And the experts we're looking at are crystal clear on this. The way you think literally shapes your entire life. So, the journey to real wealth, it kicks off the moment you change how you see the world. And check this out. This slide just breaks that whole mental shift down perfectly. On one side, you've got the common mindset, right? Oh, success is for the lucky, or it's not my fault, it's my circumstances. But then, look at the other side, the wealthy mindset. It runs on a completely different operating system. It's all about the law of cause and effect. It's knowing that specific actions, that's the cause, are going to lead to specific results, that's the effect. And guess what? You are totally in control of the cause.
All right, so now that we've got that foundation laid, let's bring in this absolutely game-changing idea from the thinker Miles Munroe. It's all about completely flipping the script on your relationship with everything you have. It's this major shift from thinking of yourself as an owner to seeing yourself as a steward.
Okay, so what in the world is this steward mindset? Well, it's this super powerful belief that you don't actually own your resources. Instead, you're a manager, a steward. You've been entrusted with them, and your whole job is to manage them and grow them for a purpose that's way bigger than just you. I mean, this reframes everything.
And man, this slide just nails the kind of psychological freedom you get from this shift. See, as an owner, you're always weighed down by the pressure of just having stuff, and you're totally crippled by the fear of losing it. But as a steward, you're free. How can you lose something you never really owned in the first place? This whole mindset just swaps out fear for boldness, and it replaces that obsessive need to compete with everyone with just a calm, cool focus on being a great manager.
And this one simple question, oh man, it can change the game for you. The next time you get some money, some resource, whatever it is, instead of your brain automatically asking, who is this for? Meaning, for me, try asking the steward's question, what is this for? You see how that immediately shifts your focus? It's not about just getting stuff for yourself anymore, it's about figuring out its purpose.
Okay, so we've got our big idea, our philosophical foundation, the steward mindset. Awesome. But now, how do we actually turn that big idea into a real, practical blueprint for the future? This is where we go from the why to the how. It's time to build a solid plan.
And here it is. This is the blueprint, a proven 7-step method straight from Tracy. First, you got to decide exactly what you want. No vague stuff. Clarity is king. Second, write it down. Get it out of your head and onto paper. A goal that's not written down, it's just a wish. Third, slap a deadline on it. That lights a fire under you. Fourth, you make a list of every single thing you can think of that you'll need to do. Fifth, organize that big, messy list into a real plan, step by step. Sixth, and this is huge, take action immediately. Don't wait for Monday. And finally, number 7, do something, anything, every single day that moves you even 1 inch closer to that goal. That's how you build unstoppable momentum. Now this right here, this is the core principle that makes the whole engine run. You are 100% responsible for your life, period. No excuses, no blaming anyone else. You're the CEO of you, Inc. If you want things to be different, you're the one who's got to make the change.
And this is so cool, because this is where those two big ideas we've been talking about just click together perfectly. So you've got Tracy saying, do what you love, and Munroe saying, work for purpose, not for money. When you can line up your passion with a bigger purpose, wow, you create this unstoppable engine for success. Your passion is the fuel inside you, and that purpose, it acts like a magnet, pulling in the resources you need from the outside.
So a great blueprint is awesome, but it's totally useless if you don't have an engine to actually make the thing go. And that engine, it's built out of your daily habits.
Your disciplines. It's all those small things you do day in and day out that build up and create real powerful momentum.
And one thing the experts really hammer home is this: you have to become a lifelong learner. They point to 3 super powerful habits. First, read about your field for at least 30 to 60 minutes every single day. Second, turn your car into a university on wheels. Use that drive time for audio programs. And third, invest in yourself. Go to seminars, take courses from people who are the best at what they do. I mean, in today's world, learning isn't just a nice to have. It's the bare minimum if you want to succeed.
Okay, check out this chart because it shows so perfectly how the practical stuff and the big ideas come together. You've probably heard of Brian Tracy's tactic to pay yourself first, right? You save and invest the first 10% of everything you earn. But if you look at it from that steward mindset we talked about, it's not just a savings plan, it's actually a test. When you responsibly manage that 10%, you're proving that you can be trusted to handle the other 90%.
And that brings us to this kind of universal law that Munroe talks about a lot. It's not just about working hard, it's about skillful management. That's what attracts money. When you show you can handle the little you have, the universe, or as Munroe would say, the owner, has this funny way of giving you more to manage. It's like good management is a magnet for more opportunities, more prosperity.
Okay, now this is a really interesting twist on an old word. In this way of thinking, laziness isn't about not doing anything. It's about not thinking. It's a failure of creativity. So the laziest person isn't the one on the couch. It's the person who gets something and doesn't use their brain to figure out how to multiply it. Which means, at its core, being productive is really an act of being creative.
Here's a simple number, but it comes with a pretty big challenge. Only about 10% of people ever make it to the very top of their field. So the question is simple. Are you going to be one of them? And the very first step is just deciding, making that choice. Decide today that you're committed to getting into that top 10%. That decision right there could be the moment everything changes. All right, so let's wrap all this up. As we've seen, this whole idea of financial freedom, it's about so much more than just the money in your bank account. It's about taking the reins, taking complete charge of this enterprise we call your life. You are the CEO. You're the one who sets the vision. You create the plan, and you build that engine of habits that's going to get you there.
And here it is, the big takeaway. This is what it all boils down to. Wealth isn't something you go out and chase down. It's the natural result. It's the byproduct of you becoming a trustworthy steward who takes disciplined, purposeful action, day after day after day. You combine that steward mindset from Munroe with the practical methods from Tracy, and this is what you get. You know, for most of us, the biggest thing holding us back isn't actually failing. It's the fear of failing. And this quote from Brian Tracy, it's so simple, but it's the perfect antidote. You just have to dare to go forward, even when you're scared. Because every time you take one of those bold steps, your courage gets a little bigger and your fear gets a little smaller.
Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground here. But like the experts say, just knowing this stuff isn't enough. It's all about action. So I'm going to leave you with one last really important question. Don't even think about tomorrow. What is the one thing, the single action you're going to take from everything we just talked about and start doing right now?